In the pro ranks, only the best make the team. A few become well-known, and even fewer become great. But the ones that succeed all have one thing in common. They all have the DNA of a winner. Recently, Carl Krummenacher of GeneWise Life Sciences sat down with Ray Lewis, Bernie Kosar, Gary Danielson, Coach Al Golden, and Greg Harrell to learn what it is that really makes a winner and find out what all winners have in common. Here are select excerpts from the 3-hour interview.
The only thing that's probably ever worked for me in my whole career, and that is the only thing that follows work is results. Bottom line, no matter how you look at it. Yeah? And whatever you find majority of the people doing, find your way doing the opposite. And you're gonna find yourself very successful in whatever realm it is in life. Yeah? That's the key, because if you group with everybody else, you're gonna get everybody else's results. If you're willing to step outside of that, then you're only looking for one result. And that result for me is work, because I knew once I dialed into work, I knew it was only one thing to follow that. Anything that I wanted to accomplish number-wise. And that's the same thing in any business form. Like, you find that, you can mold everything else. Anything else can be tweaked. If a skill is not there, you can teach a skill because they have the work ethic behind it. That's what's lacking nowadays. You know, you don't have these young entrepreneurs and these young athletes, they're the same people, but they don't have that sense of work. You know, work, and then let it all fall in place after you put your work in. Nah, they want to see it so quickly. You know, they want the glory right now. Give it to me now, I run fast. And give it to me now, I got a PhD. And, yeah, it's a million people running fast. A million people has those things. What sets you apart? You know, what sets you apart is, you know, I kind of said this to a number of people, you know, sometimes, you know, you look at people who's good, and you look at that category and say, wow, that's a good core people. And then you look at these people who are great, and they stick out like sore thumbs because they did things that people wouldn't do. And that's why I think when you're talking about what you're trying to do, how you create that, we have to create that way. Being great is being over here, looking at the masses, saying, come try this the way we tried it.
One of the things I really believe in, and Gary actually mentioned some of it too earlier, it's, you see a lot of times the superstars, whether they're on TV, in society, in business, on stage today. Okay, you see a lot of that. But it's the work you could do that everybody does behind the scenes and together that really makes for a fantastic company. And everybody's important in this. And I used to use this philosophy when I played football, and I still use it today. If you do the best you can today and maximize today, tomorrow will take care of itself. And I just challenge everybody within the company that if you do the best you can today, it doesn't have to be what the guy on stage is or the person you see on TV, but if you generally could look yourself in the mirror and say you did your best today and you try to grow each and every day, you're gonna see those results, and tomorrow is gonna take care of itself.
I'm gonna tell you, it's hard work. My mom and dad always raised us to just develop the skill of hard work, because once you get that down, that ingredient down, you can do anything you want to. Because then the only thing you have to do is bring everything else together and what you're involved in. And you got that hard work instilled in you. Number one, you're not gonna stop until you quit. You're gonna be the best at it. You're gonna stay late and come early. All the things that it takes to overcome the little small, because that's the only difference in someone who's being good and being great. And like I said, my father, he always taught us that just go out and just work hard and never let no one outwork you.
With any adversity, there's opportunity. And the bottom line is, and there's circumstances in life and there's determinants. And adversity is a circumstance, it's not a determinant. And you determine with your attitude and with your choices and with who you choose to be partners with, how you're gonna overcome it or how you're gonna attack it. And again, we're just talking here. I mean, it's just the same lessons that we try to teach, our young people. And we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different socioeconomic backgrounds. We all have different races, religions, creeds, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, There are circumstances that lead us, to this adversity or whatever the case may be, and we can't let them be determinants. We can't let them be obstacles, and we have to overcome them.
The people that really do the best jobs and are successful are the ones that kind of stick to what they do every day. They get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, they go to work, they work hard, and they do it the next day, and they do it the next day, and they do it the next day. And not everybody wins the championship, but the guys that stay in the league and keep plowing along, you go brick by brick by brick, and then you turn around after 10 years and you go, wow, I did pretty darn good.
And the DNA of a winner of being true to your word, being competitive, having a selflessness about you, that you're able to share ideas and be happy of other people within your team, within your family, within your group, having success, being successful, I think brings out the best in everybody.
You can be a selfish person, or you can be an unselfish person and be a part of something bigger than yourself. And I think those teams that I've been a part of, or those opportunities where you have to make that choice, whether you want to do it for yourself or be a part of something bigger, clearly the things that have the most gratification or given me the most memories have been the things that we've done with other people.
We talk a lot about the superstars in our society right now, but if you look upon yourself as you yourself are part of a team, nobody's ever working by themselves, okay? But when you're on a team and you're on the team, you have to understand that the team can't be successful unless everybody pulls along. No matter how good Tom Brady is, or no matter how good LeBron James is in basketball, if he doesn't have the guy to practice against, if he doesn't have the good scout to bring in the next player, the whole team moves forward together. And you have to know sometimes that it's not an embarrassment that you didn't sell $10 million worth of product. If you sell 100,000 and that's the time commitment that you made and that's your role that you made, you're a successful, needed part of the team. That's the important part. The team won't win unless there's guys that block, tackle, run down on kickoffs, scout the next good player. Everybody has their role, and when you accept that, you become a lot more, it's just at peace of mind when you go home. You just look in the mirror and say, you know what, I fulfilled what I could bring to the team.
I think teamwork is a big part of success in life, and definitely it's a big part of why I think GeneWise is successful.
Certainly in our business, you have kids, from Pop Warner leagues, little leagues, all the way up to guys that like Ray Lewis, who are considered the best in the business and been playing for 15 years. So what is it that makes them be a part of something special? You would go into a situation coaching Ray Lewis, if I was to coach him right now, and people would say, well, what can you teach Ray Lewis? He's been in the business as long as anybody and has been more successful than anybody, maybe in the history of football at that position. But the reality is, if Ray Lewis isn't coachable, you can't have a championship defense. You can't have a championship team. So being coachable is if you will, putting your personal agenda aside or your individual beliefs aside for something bigger than yourself, for something greater than yourself. And in football, we call that team. And I'm sure Ray would say the same thing, because it doesn't do you any good if you have all that knowledge and all that talent and all that ability, and you're not coachable. In other words, you want to play your own defense or do your own thing. You're not really adding to the value of the team. One
of the things about life that we have to understand is that we never really know when our opportunity is going to arise. We have to prepare ourselves every day, because the next decision we make, the next endeavor we try, may be the one that changes our life. So if you sit around and wait for it to be laid in your lap, it's not likely to happen. But if you prepare yourself that when it arises, I'll be ready, then you're pretty much chance of making it.
I always tell the team that 75% of your job description is written for you. It's what you do in that other 25% that's going to determine who you become and what we become as a program. So I think, you know, again, that same lesson can be applied for all of us because we all have a job description, but it's that other 25% that really distinguishes us from our peers.
If you look at people who are successful in the highest levels, I think, of any business, greatness is hard. It's really hard to be great in anything. But I think there are a few things that, and it personally starts inside, and you really got to make sure that you think of yourself as a winner first.
When you look at successful businesses, I think the number one question you got to ask yourself is, how is success measured? Is success measured how much money you have in the account? We can't die with that. Can't die with none of that. When I look at success as measured as one thing. How much impact did you leave on a life that affected lives?
There's a lot of people out there that think, you know, preparation is an event, and it's not, it's a process. And that's what we're teaching them. You know, that's what execution is. Execution is the adherence and the discipline to a process that ultimately will deliver us, you know, to the outcome that we want.
It's not instantaneous. No matter, you know, whether you're in sports or you're learning a new language or you're, whatever it is, everybody says, oh, it didn't happen to me right now. I'm not a millionaire. I didn't make all pro, so I must be unsuccessful. That's not true. You got to just keep plowing along, turn around and go, wow, I did all that. And that's kind of how I try to tell young people. And it takes a lot of toughness. Everybody equates toughness to like getting punched in the nose and you're tough enough to get back up. Toughness is not allowing the distractions of life to throw you off your path. That's what toughness is, because there's always somebody tugging at you and saying, it's like the evil side, you don't need to do that. There's a shortcut, and there really is no shortcut to it. There are some people that get real lucky. Some people are born, you know, fast. Some people are born real strong. Most of us, though, are in that 80, 90, 98, like now it's 99%, that it's, I tell you, of all the things I learned when I went to college and played pro football, is the guys that were successful are the ones that got up at 6:30, went to work, did it again, did it again, did it again.
When you talk about change, once again, is between you and you. I don't care what addiction, I don't care what you don't like doing, what you do like doing, whatever you feel like doing, you wake up the next morning and say, I'm done with it, or I'm gonna go do it. And 99.9% of the times, if you make your mind up to go change follows you.
Shared goals, shared execution, shared accountability, and then ultimately individual responsibility to something bigger than ourselves. I don't think there's any question about it. And I think that's where it starts. Obviously, outcome or performance is huge in terms of that, but goals plus execution equal outcome. And you know, anybody can set a goal, but it's really hard on a daily basis, you know, to stay true to the execution, you know, and just the little things that take you from goals to outcome. That's the execution, and that's usually the missing link in any business model.
If we can affect change one life at a time, then so be it. Then that's the way we got to go do it. But I think as a company, when you see the guys, see the people that's involved in our company, passion, relentlessness, faith, passion, and chemistry, those things alone, it's hard to fail when you have those things. And that's, for me, to jump into anything is the reason why I jumped into this company head first. Because those things is what gravitated me to say, I gotta be a part of this.